that you know of.
Yeah.
No. Hey guys, it's Mandy and Tom at Matuska Taxidermy Supply Company. In today's live video, we are going to be touring Matuska Taxidermy Studio. And this is kind of where all the magic happens.
Started out how?
Started out as a veterinary clinic. That didn't go so well for us, so we are now a taxidermy shop.
Worked real well.
All right, so we have Tom Matuska, Brett Wingfield working back there, Amber Inglis working over here, and you kind of just have a whole shop of fun stuff going on, and we'll kind of walk around and see what everybody's up to. And well, let me start with you, boss man.
Okay.
What do you got going?
I'm posing this pheasant for a customer, and what I like to do is I like to cut the feet off. I pose the feet onto the mannequin. Corey Crothers, Wildlife Illusions Bird Products, can't be beat. That's what I have on here. I've got a walking pheasant and a fall wattle pheasant head. I take the feet off and I pose them. I've wired them and put them through the body, and then I like to inject my feet first, let them set overnight so that I can paint them tomorrow. I will paint the bill, I'll paint the feet, and all that I won't have to do anything. Once the bird's dry, it's ready to go. It can go right onto its base and to the customer. So I have fought injecting feet forever. It's a very frustrating procedure for a lot of taxidermists, and I tell people this is your best friend or your worst enemy when you attempt to inject feet. So trial and error, I've come up with a way that works pretty well, and it's somewhat user-friendly. The first thing I do is I pose my feet onto the bird in the stance that he's going to be. As soon as these are injected, I'm going to transfer him onto his base so his toes will conform to the ground terrain. What I like to do next is take super glue, and I super glued the top of my skin where I removed it from the feathers, from the bird skin. I super glue the top so that when I inject, it doesn't spill out the top and I lose all my injection fluid. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is I like to inject air up into these toes to make room for my injection fluid. Now this bird kind of got hit pretty hard. He belongs to a neighbor of mine, and I know, Jacob, that you shot this bird at about 10 feet because there's lots of BBs in small area. But we're going to make him look real nice. So what I like to do is I like to take like a little insulin syringe, and I take the needle off. I'm going to put that on a little bigger one so I have a larger volume of air. I like to slide the needle along the toenail, wiggle it in there, and then I'm going to inject air. And you can see the air. I don't know if you could see that. The air went all the way up. It went up here, it went down to this toe, and it started going up the leg also. I do all the toes, and I'll even do the leg. Now so far, all I'm doing is injecting air. And if you don't poke a hole out, it works pretty good. There, you probably saw that one. Now I'll do this one over here. And if you slide it right along the bone, you don't have as great a tendency to poke out. Oops, that one. Okay, now the tissue should be broken loose all the way up in here. If you want to, you can stick one in the top too, just so that you've got plenty of tough little bird air in there, so you give yourself a little distance between the bone and the skin for the injection fluid to go up in. There's 3 ways to do feet. One is to do nothing. Don't do anything to these feet, let them dry. They're going to discolor. Most of the time, if taxidermists that don't inject them will at least probably paint them. and you let them dry. Feet dry a tremendous amount. Waterfowl, ducks and geese shrivel up, you know, like to long stretched out raisins. Lots of wrinkles in them. Upland game birds like pheasants and turkeys don't shrink quite as much, but there's still a lot of shrink that goes on. The next method is injection, and that's what I'm doing with this one. I will inject a fluid up into this foot, and there's different varieties of injection fluids. We carry a knoblock product called bird foot injection fluid, and it keeps the tissue inside supple so that it doesn't shrink quite as much. I like to use, what I choose for my birds is a product called Fantasticast, and it's an A and a B. It's an epoxy. I think it's a urethane, pardon me, not an epoxy. You mix A and B together and inject it, stick it up into the foot and squirt it throughout the toes.
By using the same syringe.
Now what I do for that is I will take that little syringe off and I replace it with a 20 gauge needle. And that allows me to get a thicker material like this in, and I will inject it up at the top. And when I inject as much as I can, I will start seeing it come out those minuscule little tiny insulin needle holes. And that epoxy will flow all the way down the toes. And Fantasticast comes in two varieties. Comes in natural, comes in injection grade. The injection grade sets very slowly, I would say 6 hours. So my feeling with the injection grade is, though it probably works well and is an easier product to use, I think it runs out before I ever get the, you know, before it ever sets in there. The natural sets up in less than 5 minutes. So you got to be fast.
At what stage do you pose it when you're using that?
I pose them once I inject the whole foot.
So right away.
This doesn't harden like a rock instantly. It will give me half hour to an hour of adjustment.
So you need to have your base ready.
Have your base ready. And for that, this is going to be a nice walnut base to set on a desk, and I could make something. This is a walnut hollow, solid walnut base, and it's recessed. And what we always used to do with all of these products, I mean, we've had a lot of these in the past, and we always had to cut a piece of plywood to screw down in. We'd have to cover it with foam. We would have to rasp it off, put on our ground cover. We make these, we sell them to the supply company that index right into here. So what we'll do is take this out, cover it with our, I will pose the bird on here first probably, then I will, when I do my finish work, I will take this out, cover it with dirt. It's going to have some plants on it. It's going to be kind of a classy little piece. But those fit in there really nice. You can screw them from the bottom. They got a wood plate in the bottom. When I inject, something else you might find helpful is this doesn't give you much time. Another product that we carry is...
Ron Hawkins wants to know, I know what you're going to say. Master's Blend.
Master's Blend. Yeah. We carry Master's Blend for you, Ron.
You gotta give us 2 weeks and we'll have it for you.
It's very, very similar. Very similar product. I use Master Blend all throughout the whole last class, and
which do you prefer? If you
I think it sets up faster than Fantasticast. It seemed to,
so you like
by a minute or two. You know, not terribly, but it's a very similar product. But it works great. Anyway, it works even better if you can put this stuff in the freezer. I've got my Master's Blend is what I was going to demonstrate. I've got that in the freezer, and it doesn't freeze, but it cools it. Urethanes do not set fast when they're cold, so it gives me way extended time. So by putting it in the freezer...
Longer than 6 hours is what you're going for?
This stuff is going to be the 3 to 5 minutes.
Oh, got it.
But if you put it in the freezer, it's going to take maybe 5 to 7 minutes. You got plenty of time. And so what I'll do is I will inject it from up on top. Now I made my air holes down here, but I inject it up at the top and with a bigger needle, and I only have to do it once rather than having to inject here, 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 and here. If I do it one time up in here, I'm going to see that urethane come out every one of my little breather holes. And since that was a little needle, and this is a bigger one, I'm going to be able to put more in until it starts solidifying. Works really well for me, and it makes things easier.
I see you have your bird flesher out.
That's the next thing.
Can you do a little demo?
I maybe can. I knew you were going to ask. This is the
Plug it in first.
new angle bird flesher, and we use these a lot in the shop. We use them on little animal faces. We use them on birds. They can handle almost any bird. You can stop it with your hand. You're not going to cut through your hand or anything. It's strong enough on your bird to take your fat off your bird. Now, on a pheasant, most of you know, your fat and tissue is concentrated kind of on your feather patches, your little feather groups, and any of that red muscle needs to come off. You maybe want to come around this side and get a quick look. And the object is to push just hard enough to remove your fat, but not so hard to go through the bird skin. Go over it very light. If nothing happens, apply a little more pressure. If nothing happens, a little more pressure. I've got my hand underneath, and I'll go over the entire bird, taking off tissue. It's kind of a, and you can tell how quiet this is. This is really, really quiet. I used to flesh birds at home on the kitchen table with this. It's got a nice shroud around it. It doesn't throw fat everywhere. I used to make bird fleshers from time to time, and I never came up with quite as good of a design as this.
There's our new angle bird flesher, and it is $195.95.
Now, when you flesh birds, something you're going to notice, those of you that haven't had a great amount of experience, is when you get to the bird flesher, you're fleshing, it seems like nothing's coming off, and all of a sudden you cut through. How did that happen? Nothing was coming off. The reason is your fat is sandwiched between the feather quills, and it's got a thin layer of tissue on top that's kind of, it's a tough little membrane. And in order to break through, you have to put a lot of pressure on it. Once you break through that membrane, the fat underneath is like butter. So membrane's not cutting, membrane's not cutting, membrane's not cutting, all of a sudden, oh man, I'm through. So what a lot of people will do is take a scissors and score that membrane or break it up first. Then the membrane can be fleshed off and you can get to the fat much easier. But if you're wondering why you're cutting holes lots of times, it's because you're not getting through the membrane, and when you do get through the membrane, it goes too fast after that. Now, even on this neck is a really, really fragile area, and you don't have to worry. Now, you can cut holes. If I cut holes, I'll just tell you that they're regulator holes, so I know how deep I'm going. But it shouldn't make big holes. If it does get caught in the wheel, it will probably just go up in here and shut itself off. You know, the wheel will stop. It's kind of not a high power motor, and it can be stopped pretty easy. Some of the bird fleshers that I've made in the past, I have caught birds in them and tore them in two pieces. And that's what I do until the bird's completely done. Now, it's really important to wash these birds. And so to start with, I put them through a cold water bath. You will find that you have less chance getting your feathers caught in the bird flesher if you have them wet. So my first bath, as soon as the bird's skinned and I've taken the leg meat and wing meat off, I will put him in cold water, and that removes any of the blood and a lot of dirt from him. Then I will flesh him till I think water? Just plain water. Nothing, especially on a white bird. If there's a lot of different things you can put in to get blood out, but one of the best things is cold water.
Now, say it has blood that you can't get off. What you're going to use would be?
We have blood eater.
Okay. Feather white?
No, feather white isn't for blood. It's for mineral stains. Any of those, snow geese and have that stain around their face. Pintails, when they go down south, a lot of times will have that rusty color. Feather white's great for that. You squirt it on. We've used it on doll sheep. Doll sheep, a lot of times, I would assume from living in their terrain, have a lot of orangey in their hair, and we've used a lot of feather white on dowel sheet.
So blood would be the like dish soap, not dish soap or detergent.
Your feather white, another thing that works pretty good for blood is ammonia. Ammonia, little Bo Peep ammonia from the grocery store.
Looking at your tools over here, someone mentioned fantastic task. Make sure you wear gloves with it.
Yes.
When you're doing it. And then I feel like Wesnip scissors, these.
Oh, those are the best.
They're on every table. When I was in here earlier, these things are on every single table that you guys have over here.
These are, we've had other kinds of scissors like these, and these hold an edge better than any. When they get dull, you can take a fine, I sharpen them on a steel to start with, just like I do my knives. It's got one serrated edge, one sharp edge. Sharpen it on a steel. When that quits bringing the edge back, and the edge will last for months before you have to do that. When that, you can't get it sharp, take a really fine file. We also have little files for that purpose. You can file that edge. Even a fingernail file works pretty well for that. I've had carpal tunnel surgery, nerve damage. You know,
you're a hot mess.
I'm a hot mess. Anyway, these are great because they open up for you, and all I have to do is push one function.
I also noticed that you have some Cutsall.
Oh, I
bits here.
can't function without my Cutsall bits.
Do you have a favorite? So like, are these two of your favorite that you use all the time?
Those are two of my favorites. That's a cone, a conical, I think it's called, and then the other is a cylindrical. And these are, some of you might be familiar with the Typhoon bits, I think, maybe by Fordham, I'm not sure. These are carbide, 100% carbide, tungsten carbide. I have a file, like a file that I alter forms with, and when it loads up with Bondo or foam or glues or whatever, I soak it in lacquer thinner overnight, and a wire brush, and it's as good as new. I've had it for 30 years. These are the same. The worst thing that I do with these sometimes is I overheat them and bend them or to put too much pressure on them. But those Cutsall bits are exceptionally good product.
I notice it's kind of, fur back here, kind of clean. Does it always look like this?
Oh yes, we keep a really sparkly clean shop. No, we clean for you guys.
All right, in one word, describe a day in the shop. Here.
For who?
For you guys, the three of you, a day in the shop, one word. How would you describe it?
It's different for everybody. For me, I come back here and...
One word.
Chaos. One word. Chaos.
Awesome, chaos.
Organized chaos.
Okay, but now describe your day.
I come back here with every intention of getting a pheasant mounted, and the phone rings and somebody needs this or that, and all of a sudden I'm off to a fish, or down helping Joe downstairs, or Amber on a project or something.
Hanging out with me.
Hanging out with you, and working on a catalog. That's what ours is. That's what mine is like.
Chaos. Chaos, chaos. So, that was mounting a pheasant with Tom. We have over here, it looks like you guys must have just got a shipment in of African
animals, yes. We got...
What do you got here? So now all this stuff will go to a tannery, correct?
Yeah, the hides will go to the tannery. We tan a lot of
These
things
are like,
here.
so this is how it comes from Africa.
You're touching that.
Am I not supposed to?
Yeah, but it's not like you.
I was back here shaking your rugs earlier.
Yes, it comes, it's been salted and dried, and then it comes in a crate. And we get it in, and then what Amber did this morning, she marked all of them, punched them, so this customer has a punch. So this all goes, the hides will go to the tannery. The horns and everything will be stored until they come back from the tannery.
Now we are USDA approved facility.
USDA approved facility for restricted animal byproducts.
So explain what that means.
It means that in order for some animals to come to the United States, they consider them hazardous, like swine products. They don't want diseases from Africa's pigs getting into our domestic hog farms, I assume. So a person has to go through a approved USDA facility, which we are, and there's a USDA website you can go and you can see all the different, I think there's only about 2 of them in Iowa now. But anyway, monkeys, hog products, bush pigs, turkeys from Mexico and things like that all have to go through USDA. And then what we have to do is we have to unpack them, We have to destroy the refuse. We have to burn all the boxes and packing. We have to treat the restricted animals, and then fill out some documentation explaining to the USDA how they were handled.
And so like if a taxidermist in the area isn't USDA approved, but they have a customer going to Africa on a hunt, they would then give us the information, send it here, pick it up here?
We do that. Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, we do several shipments a year because I think it's, I don't know, $500 a year to be licensed. So for one person that does 2 of these a year, it's probably not worth the investment.
Awesome. And we got Brett over here working on Antelope. What do you got going, Brett?
This is a pretty cool project that we put together yesterday. This is one of ours, the Gary Zahner wall pedestals that we altered to a full pedestal. We had a customer bring in a trophy that they had harvested a few years ago, husband and wife team, and decided they wanted to add one more to it after a few years. Last year they were successful on a Wyoming antelope hunt, and so we've added this piece. We've taken this existing wall pedestal, and we're going to add the fresh new antelope to it. So we've taken a little piece of snaggly branch here. We've got a little
It's a romantic
edition.
couples
Yeah.
piece.
Yep.
So I see this is our pedestal rod that we sell in 3 sizes, and it
Yep.
looks like you bent it how
Yep.
you wanted it.
Yep. We
How'd you
drilled
bend
it
that?
through. Actually bent it in a mounting stand.
That's what I
So
thought.
put it in a mounting stand, get some leverage on it, and bent it. This is the piece that's actually in the brisket here of this antelope, and it'll fit right on there. So that piece is actually bondoed up in here. This is an extra one to show you guys. But yeah, it's a pretty cool piece. It's a
And the
way
customer made their own stand.
This base?
Yeah.
It lights
Yep.
up too, right?
Yeah, they've got some LED lights. They got all kinds of exciting stuff going on in there. So it's pretty neat. We've taken a average antelope off the wall, and we've been able to repurpose it and make kind of a feature piece for their trophy room.
And so now you got the wood,
Yep.
which you're gonna
Yep.
piece together.
We've got to work with a few different concepts here, but this is going to give us a base for us to build off of. It's something that screws down. We haven't decided yet if we're going to fill this void with a plexiglass product, or if we're going to bring dirt all the way down. But our intent is we'll probably foam over this, take our 2-part foam, pour over this. We've got some areas here that we're going to rebuild, maybe with some Bondo and sculpting, bring this driftwood down. We'll do the same here. We'll bring this branch out, so this part of the driftwood will come out here and actually hide all of that stuff, and it'll be a real nice transition. Amber does
What are you gonna make that out of?
Bondo.
Bondo.
And I'm not gonna make it. Amber's
Amber.
gonna make it. Yeah.
Amber's gonna do it. She's good at that.
Yep. Yeah, she really is. So same thing over here. We took the wall pedestal, and it had a flat side, so we thought that
Go look at that.
rather than change the existing mount, we're just going to take this little flat back 2x4 piece here. It's got a little bit of a shape to it, and Amber's going to work her magic and turn that into another branch right there. So
And now you used leather on the back for the pedestal.
Yeah.
And then took the
Yep.
leather and braided it to
yep,
give it a nice little.
yep. And we'll finish the back of this other one the same way. So we're going to take this, we'll take the bracket off, but we'll finish the back of this one the exact same way with the leather. So
Very cool. And I see you're putting Bob Fothery, our Bob Fothery mounting stand to use.
yeah.
Good product. What else do we have going?
Dandy. Oh, we've got all kinds of stuff. So during the course of the day, we could be doing a little bit of anything. We've got fish drying over here. We're also starting to set up, we're doing a little paint work on these. And we're also setting up our driftwood for some of the fish that we're getting ready to put out in the showroom. This is a nearly complete one. We're starting to put some habitat on that. He's getting ready to go.
It looks like all these pieces, you're using our artificial driftwood.
You know what? It's very customer appealing, and it's so easy to work with.
So you can see here, this is our artificial driftwood. This would be the cedar color, and then here would be the weathered. So it gives it 2 completely different looks.
Yeah, so what we do is we try and take our fish, which we've got here. He's getting ready to go. We'll take the instructions, which are here. Actually, this piece over here. Check with our customer requests. We've got one here that wants rocks, driftwood. We'll add a couple little habitat pieces to it, and then we start setting those up, and we'll set them up early ahead of time so that we don't have to put a lot of pressure on them after they're glossed and they all go together. But tell you what, we have a choice of a mountain full of real driftwood and the artificial, and I think, Tom, I'd go, as long as you don't get mad at me, I'll go to that artificial
It's
pile
nice
every
stuff.
time.
I like
It works really good.
What are the
And-
benefits?
Well, we just had a customer pick up a trout piece.
A big trout.
Yeah, a big trout within a day or so. And his comment was, wow, this is really light. He expected he was going to have to hit a stud and everything else. And really light and very easy to use. One of the cool parts of it is if this branch is in the way, this is just a foam product. It's a real easy cut. We can take and alter that driftwood just like you'd alter anything else that's urethane. So we're getting all of those set up. There's a few there. There's a table full of them back there, but we're putting them all together here. This is the real one.
Humboldt cedar.
So yeah, this is the real thing. We've got one of those pieces up here too. The rock clusters are a big hit, and as I read through these directions, more and more of them are saying rock cluster, rock cluster, rock cluster. This is one here, and it's a real easy add. We would just screw that in from the back, maybe put a little habitat or moss and some hot glue behind it.
So looking at that one over there, you have that
Yeah.
one pinned
Yep.
in?
I did. I just stuck a pin through that because it's a harder foam product, but just break through the skin. The pins put it in place. We can pin it here. We might combine these two together. We might bring one over here or even off of here. So we'll kind of pin them in place to start, just as a,
Oh my god.
and they don't break.
Yeah, durable.
Durable.
You can run over 'em. So how would you go about attaching this?
On this one, I think we would just screw in from the back side. We would set this on the flat surface on the table or put a board behind it, making sure that our flat side on the rocks is flush. And then we would screw through, attach it. If there's much of a gap, we might put some foam in there, or you may do just some hot glue. And then we'd take a little moss or something.
And Amber's been playing. She gets to come to work and play with rocks. Every day is different for her. But you've been playing with your rock clusters here and piecing them together. Do you want to sneak in here and talk?
Yeah, we really like these rocks. They add so much more to the scenery instead of just having just a piece of driftwood with your fish or with your other animals. You were trying to make it as easy as we can for people to be able to add some dimension. So that's what Brett was talking about as far as adding them. And they can go with real or artificial, and they just pop right on. It's so easy. Scenery can take a lot of time, so we're trying to make this as easy as we can. So like this
the
one
real-
here
the real
is,
deal.
yep, this is a real deal. We're getting ready to expand it and make a few that are a little bit bigger than the couple that we offer now. And this one is especially nice because it's substantial enough that I think it can go into a pedestal and other mounts other than with a piece of
It could
driftwood
go on
up
one
on
of
the
our
wall.
flat plaques. Just put
Right.
it on a flat base and have that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And it's about as easy as you can get, and it adds a lot of character to your mounts.
Brett, is this your mule deer?
Yeah.
What's on his eye?
His eye. He's got eye protect on his eyes. Are you gonna pull it off for him?
Yeah.
So
Should I
when
come
we
off?
paint,
It's my favorite
he
thing
doesn't
to do.
anymore. So when we paint, we're gonna put after
get
we
the
do
other
all
one.
of our finish work with the epoxy, we're gonna put a little bit of eye protect on that, and it's gonna keep any of your airbrush paints off of the glass, and then make a real easy cleanup. So yeah, you'll see a lot of stuff with eye protect on it unless
Whose
Mandy
one is
comes
that?
through and picks it off.
I know. Okay, so I totally like going and peeling off the plastic on TVs and stuff. I love doing that.
That's a sagebrush form. That's one of
This
our.
one
Yeah.
is a.
Yeah.
So on that topic, this is our sagebrush mule deer series.
Yeah.
If you look over here, we have going on more. They're adding to the line. So what our sculptors do is they'll sculpt it for us. It'll come to us. Amber's. What do you shellac it? What do you do? I don't know what it's called.
Joe primes it.
Primes it. We got pieces cut out on the side for the numbers and clay. And then we'll tin it and fiberglass it, and then they'll be ready to go in your shop. But they're working away on it for you guys.
8 new ones.
8 new ones. And 2 are early season, and the rest are the original series, right? And then I don't know if you saw these back here, but we have our Matuska competitors trophies going out. All these are going to shows this year. These are what we have left to send. You have the professionals, and then you have the masters. And they're missing their plaques yet, but they'll get those on and get sent to shows for you guys to compete and take home.
That's a prestigious award.
It is. So tell us about it.
The contestants, either in the Masters or the professional, have to have the highest scoring 3 entries.
Oh, 4 entries.
4 entries, yes.
Yeah.
Highest scoring of 4 entries. And I mean, it takes a lot to do a competition piece, first of all, and to do 4 of them, and then to do the highest scoring 4. It's a real achievement for anybody that wins it. So. Now what you doing?
What you working on?
Oh, this is a project that we got started on. I think I might let Tom tell the story on this one.
We, I guess a couple years ago, and I think I probably mentioned this before, a good friend of mine, a taxidermist from Phillips, South Dakota, got Kevin Costner's horse, Cisco, that he rode in Dances with Wolves, and somebody came to him, the 1880 town in South Dakota, to have this mounted. So we were fortunate enough that Marty wanted us to help him with it, so we were able to mount Cisco, and he turned out pretty exceptional. And from that publicity, I think, a man contacted us about doing another horse, and we are so busy that we turned it down for months. We turned this horse down. And he was pretty insistent, and this is a world champion Pasifino horse. And so we went to see it. It's an old horse. And
Let's see if we can find it. Good.
we took pictures.
Reference.
Took all the reference pictures, I could take.
So you already went there when it was alive.
Is alive, still is alive. And
That's a good picture when he was.
Pretty one.
it's
Getting skinny.
that's it. It's
old.
aging, it's showing its age. Anyway, so we took the pictures and took all the measurements, hundreds of measurements. Came back and Amber went to town with the reference that I brought her, and has sculpted the head for this horse, as close as we think it is. When the horse dies.
So you're using your
Yep.
great
Atlas.
book. If you don't have it in your shop, it's a great one to go buy.
That's a fabulous book.
An Atlas of Animal Anatomy. So she's
Shows
going
all
off her
the bone structure, muscle structures, veins, and arteries. It shows just about everything. So you really can get a good idea of how animals turn, where they turn, their vertebrae, their different bone structures and stuff, and it just helps you really make sure that you get animals accurate. So they cover a whole series of different animals in here, from horses to dogs, cats, you name it.
Monkeys,
Deer,
lions.
Deer.
Yep.
The main ones,
It's pretty
bobcats.
helpful.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great book.
So now you guys will take this when you go, because
We're going to take it and
when
compare
it passes away, you'll
Yep.
do the real deal.
Yep.
Very cool. And you have a bear. You're doing the same thing over there.
This was a bear that was cast, and from that cast we went ahead and pushed clay into that, and then pulled out basically a clay mold of it, and now we're able to do the same thing as what we're doing with that, and just rework the clay. When you pull them out, obviously all of the muscles look dead, so it's up to us to bring it back and bring it, the muscles back up and make them look lifelike. So, yep, so this is gonna be a new one that we're gonna be starting to do, a half life-size black bear, and then I think we're planning on doing a couple other poses.
Yeah, a couple variations of snarling in the same pose, you know, we'll take.
A couple of head ups.
Cindy's heads, yeah.
Cindy Christmas or Great American Bears sculptures.
Always trying to expand and grow and give people what they're looking for.
Looks like you can dance with it.
Yeah.
You got someone saying hi, Papa.
Better say hi. I bet you have two actually.
Was it Quinny?
And
Madden?
Yeah.
Both of them? Hi, guys and girls.
Hi, Madden. Miss you, buddy. What else do we have going on that's super exciting?
Oh, we got a Cape Buffalo, looks like.
Oh, yeah, I had to stop. You guys were over there, so I was just gonna stop.
And you got the hide stretcher.
Yeah, these hide stretchers are amazing when you get into, especially working with big animals, to really get back that full size. Bear, they work especially great on. We've got the larger one. I think they come in two different sizes.
A mini
so
and a
this
large.
is the bigger one of the two that we have, and they're really, really, really nice. So you can just kind of really see just how much they can get, and especially with,
You can hear it.
with black bear. Well, there's little gripper.
So it's just
on
like
there.
our form ruffers.
Same
The
pad, yeah.
pad. Just bigger.
So they grab onto that hide, and then they just really go ahead and get back a full stretch so that you can get your hides back to really what they were. And ideally, you don't want to open them up all the way, but you can really, really get all your nice girth back on your bear and down in their bellies, and really get that back.
And the idea isn't to make them bigger than what they were, but at least just get it back to what they were, what you sent in.
Right, right. And, you know, for people who do a lot of black bear and big animals, man, you can really strain your body doing all that stretching and pulling. And if you go ahead and prep your hide and do this before you even put it on the mannequin, oh, it makes it so much easier instead of fighting that hide.
Saves your
trying to get
fingernails
it
too a
around.
little.
Yeah, yep. Bear arms, too, are another biggie because they've got these big muscular bear arms. And to try and get that hide up and around, if you guys have done bear, struggling to get it up and around those arms can be, they can be tough. But if you use this one will work on the arms. The smaller one works a little bit better, just because you're able to get it widthwise on it a little bit easier. But this one can work on that as well.
Are you worried about tearing the cape?
I think that if you would try to open it all the way up, you would maybe overstretch. But these, I'm not really worried about as far as ripping the hide or anything.
Never have
No.
I mean, you can kind of feel the pressure that
Right,
you're putting
you
on
can
it,
feel the
too.
pressure, so you don't want to throw your whole weight into it when you're doing it. You're just trying to get some of that stretch back. So as soon as you start feeling that real pressure kind of jump in, then you just stop.
When we would do life-size big brown bears, I would lay them out on my, wet them and lay them out on my rug table, and I would start with big spikes, and I would nail all the way around the bear, and then I would start again and pull the nail out an inch farther, go all the way around the bear, and I'd keep moving them out, the nails out, as he got bigger. And when they come back from the tannery, you know, you'll get another 6 to 8 inches in width out of them, and 6 inches of length.
Right.
People don't pay for littler stuff.
Right. And bear especially looks so much nicer when they can get back to that nice pear shape. So, I'm just measuring. I went ahead and measured the eye to nose on this already, and then just give it a nice stretch.
So is this going to be a shoulder?
Full
This will
shoulder,
be a
Cape
full
Buffalo,
shoulder.
yeah.
Yep, and then I'm gonna go down a little ways from the ears. And this is a pretty pretty nice big guy. I'm saying he's gonna go, and you can see I'm not even stretching, pulling, cranking on it, nothing. And it's gonna go 46, which is, he's a big boy.
That's big.
That's a big Cape Buffalo.
Shane Halstead said you should make that bear form into a snarling.
We will.
Which we will. So all of our snarling change-out heads, in theory, will be able to go on that and give you different sizes.
So that'll be the first pose. The next one, we'll straighten up the head. We wanted to do that one first because it was kind of unique. That was made from a carcass cast. And so then we will straighten it up and make it accept probably 3 different sizes of Cindy's heads, both snarling, probably relaxed, and close them up.
Amber, who's the messiest of the 3 of you back here?
Who's the messiest?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of depends on what we're doing.
She's afraid to say.
I don't know. You and I kind of have a tendency to go back and forth. It depends on.
We have one neat, I was going to say we have one neat person.
Okay, so if you could describe one word a day in the shop here for you 3, what would you say? Chaos is taken.
Yeah, I would say hectic.
Hectic.
Yep, you never quite know
We're
what's
all
going to happen.
positivity.
A lot of phone calls and stuff. People asking for assistance.
Our tech line.
The tech line, yep, is a big thing. So to try and keep your brain, I don't know how Tom does it sometimes. I mean, he gets a lot of the questions with people jumping from one subject to another subject to another subject, which is, it's good though, because we're here to be able to help people know what products are good and how to use them the best, get the best.
Jeremy Lee, are you going to be at the Iowa show? We are. So this weekend we're at South Dakota show. Tom and Brett are going to that. I think you leave tomorrow morning early because it opens at 9 a.m. But they'll be there, so you can stop by and see them.
Trailer's closed too.
Trailer's closed. Like closed. But next week we're doing the Iowa and the Minnesota. Tom's judging the Minnesota, but you'll have a booth set up.
Right.
And then we're going to the Iowa show. So we'll be there. And we are taking pre-orders. So you save on shipping and you get the show discount. So give us a call. But the trailer will close next week. So make sure you place your orders and we'll bring it. Because we're not setting up as many booths because we're kind of spread to 3 shows. In Oklahoma, same weekend, Rick Lang will be there working our booth. So Rick Lang, look for him in Oklahoma. Right? Yeah. Same weekend. So we're kind of at 3 shows. But, real quick, let's see what's behind door number 1.
Yeah, Rick Lang's at
Ah! It's a bear!
Rick Lang's in Kansas, right?
Kansas, not
Kansas.
Oklahoma. Kansas.
Yeah.
Good thing you called that out. Kansas.
We'll be in Oklahoma.
He's with Dorothy. Got it.
And keep an eye on Mandy at the Iowa show. She's never gone all by herself before.
Haven't, but I'm bringing my family.
Bringing her family.
And you're going live?
Oh, yes. So next week, because we'll be at the Iowa show and the Minnesota show, we will not be doing live next week on Thursday. We are going to do it Friday around 6:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to do a sneak peek walkthrough, kind of like we did at the Wisconsin show, and show you the entries, and we'll talk to some of the judges, pick their brain if they'll let us. I think you have Bill Newman's doing mammals, you have Clint Rickey, Mike Nikelski. Who else is there? Cole Cruikshank.
Yep.
So we'll kind of go pick their brains a little bit and walk through and see all that stuff.
And you got permission?
I did get permission.
You called Sam?
I did call
thanks,
Sam.
Yep. Thanks a lot.
Let's see what else we got. I got news just wrote down. St. Patrick's Day, we're going to be doing, stay tuned, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but we are going to do a sale on one of our favorite shop tools. So you've heard us talk about it a lot, but we're going to be doing a sale on that in St. Patty's. So tune on to our Facebook. If you don't get our emails of all our promotion, sales, all that stuff, give us your email and we'll make sure you're on the list because we send stuff out all the time. Almost too much if you'd ask my mom. The Iowa show is Tama and Minnesota is Marshalltown.
No, Minnesota is
Tama's Iowa.
Minnesota moved and I don't know the name.
Oh, I got the directions to mine. You're gonna have to look yours up.
Anybody?
Let's see. Ooh. Oh, school. So school's out. You see, right here we are kind of in. They're working on their shop stuff, but also we have a 9-week school course that happens, and they just got out. But we do have a course starting April 3rd, and I think we have 2 openings still. So you can call us for more information on that and get trained by these amazing, talented taxidermists, instructors.
It's in Alexandria.
Yeah.
Alexandria is the Minnesota show. Perfect. We are going to do something a little different, a little fun, but you've all been so awesome at sharing and liking and tuning into our Facebook stuff that we want to give back a little bit. So what we're going to do, because we love networking with you, but what we're going to do is we are going to give you a chance to win $500 toward your supplies.
$500.
$500. But it's going to be open for till June 30th. So basically 3 months. 3 months. To enter, what you need to do is post anything Matuska related and tag us in it. So Matuska Matuska Taxidermy Studio, and or share any of the posts that my lovely assistant Kirsten works so hard at putting on there for you. Just share those, like them, whatever. We're going to be tallying them for 3 months, and whoever does the most will get the $500 towards supplies. And this can be anything. I mean, you see posts all the time, and it's so fun to see people's positive comments. We actually hang them up by our time clock for our employees to kind of pick up their day. But it could be anything as far as Brett's using, oh, he just got his box from Matuska's, got my box from Matuska's, got my candy from Matuska's. I love
Snap a
this
photo.
form I'm using. If you see us at the show, take a picture and tag us. Anything fun. We love your comments and your positivity. So thank you for doing that, and keep it up. And we're gonna do that. $500, 3 months will be closed, but post. Is that fun?
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
What
That's
are we
a good
doing
deal.
for a giveaway today?
Giveaway today. Well, I don't know if you saw Amber's shirt, but she's wearing
Ooh.
our new Taxidermy series shirt. In the front's just a taxidermy, and then the back gives you the definition. So we are going to give this away to one lucky winner. Did you guys decide what your question was going to be?
I think it was how many. Competitor's Choice is such a popular line of deer forms.
Oh, yeah.
And did you forget it, right?
Well, you were going to ask it.
Oh, I was going, what?
Weren't you going to say it?
What's our question?
Our question is, how many of combined poses, semi-sneak, semi-uprights, sneak, wall pedestals,
Competitor's Choice. forms.
Competitor's Choice forms, how many total mannequins are in the line?
Yep. Because that's one of our, we sell so many and they go out so fast, it's so fun to see that. And so the question is, how many Competitor's Choice forms are in our catalog?
That's
And
it.
For those that don't know, we want them to
Go to the catalog.
check in the catalog, but they've got to put it in the comments, right?
Yes, so you gotta
Comment?
also
That's
like
good.
the video, give us a little thumbs up, give my dad his bubbles, heart, thumbs up, anything, and you can comment your, the number guess.
Okay.
They're going.
They're going higher, people.
Little low, guys.
Higher. What else do we have going?
We got a lot, and they're great. We use them. I always prided ourselves in the supply company of not carrying junk. Everything we have is top quality. Everything from our bears and our horsehead and our products and our paints and our deer heads and our sheep forms. Everything is as good as it gets, and Competitor's Choice is one of them.
Lower, Brian. Little lower. Getting close.
Andy Jacobs is pretty close.
And
Ooh,
Jacobs
pretty
probably has a pretty good insight. We have
South Dakota this weekend, Iowa, Minnesota next weekend, and Kansas. And what else we got?
I think that'd be good, right? Aren't you gonna do? You're gonna do the UTA
we're doing the UTA,
maybe?
which is combined with Oklahoma. That's what I was
Right.
thinking. That's combined with Oklahoma, which we'll be there for as well.
Western Regional?
There's a lot this year.
Ooh, Royce Larson, very close.
Royce Larson, very close. Man, give us some more thumbs up and some more guesses, guys. Getting real close. If you don't have our catalog, this is Matuska Taxidermy Supply Company. This is our 2018 catalog. I believe we're going to be doing a bulk mailing tomorrow. So,
Ryan Wolf.
Ryan, well, good job, Ryan.
He counted.
I'll make sure to put extra candy in your t-shirt, Mr. Wolf. But give us a call or 1-800-488-3256 or order online at www.matuskataxidermy.com. If you're interested or know somebody interested in school, send them our way. We do have 2 spots left, and we are passing on for those 2 spots $500 worth supplies toward the person who passes them on to us. So for those last 2 fill spots, we have that available. But also we have the advanced course. So if you want to learn a little extra and take your skill level in taxidermy to the next step, these are the guys that can do it for you. So give us a call, 1-800-488-3256. Thanks for joining us for a day in the shop
Thank you.
with our team.
Say bye, Amber.
Bye.